second here. We're here with Freddy Lansky. Going to talk about an idea as it relates to unused home movies or past famous events. Freddy is going to tell us all about that in a little bit here. This is behind the scenes on the Run With It podcast. If you'd like to listen to the polished version of the show where we edit out all the flubs that we're going to inevitably have, subscribe to us in your podcast player of choice.
I think you've been inserting flubs for me, Chris, right? Has Ari been inserting flubs for me?
I think that...
I can't believe I sound that stupid. I don't know.
No comment? This is a chat? This is... yeah, we tend to... I can already tell Freddie's very articulate.
Like they say, we're it's not a bug, it's a feature, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we're going to have some fun here. All right, you guys ready?
Let's hit it.
Let's do it. Welcome to Run With It, the show that brings you untapped business ideas from successful entrepreneurs. My name is Chris Justin, and I'm here with Ethan Janney. Ethan, how are you doing today?
I'm good, man. I had my own business idea. It's not a podcast editing service to delete the ands and the ums. It's one where you put the ands and the ums in. Does that sound like a good idea?
Just all ands and ums, just all filler words. That's like
just add...
The guy that has the Put You to Sleep podcast. What's that called?
Yeah, there you go. Sleep With Me podcast. That's a good podcast. Yeah. Well, we guarantee that this podcast will not be slept to. But you might want to sleep with us after you listen to it because it's so good. I don't know what I'm saying out loud. Anyways, our guest today is Freddy Lansky, the owner and founder of Points Panda, a concierge service that helps you hack your travel plans, your credit card points, award flight booking, all that stuff. He's a genius of travel hacking, and he's
love number one.
that weird announcement that happened about the recording in progress. Okay, so yeah, he's coming on with a business idea that has to do with. Chris, you just hit record. Is that what happened?
I hit record on Zencastr, yeah.
On Zencastr, but not on Zoom?
I hit both.
Oh, hit both.
They're both recording on my end.
Yeah,
I'm going to hit record on my computer, too, because I did not remember to do that. Okay, we record the video and extra audio just in case. Okay, so I heard that little thing and it threw me off. All right, so Freddy is also bringing us an idea today that has to do with video footage and getting it online, and we were curious about how he came up with this. Chris, what do you think about the video space? Have you done any research on this? I know the answer is no today.
Well, it's really easy to go down a rabbit hole in the video space. I watched a nice video from Criterion about how they remastered an old Alfred Hitchcock movie. So no, I got completely sidetracked in trying to do some research for this topic. So let's just turn it to Freddy. Freddy, tell us about this idea. How did you come up with it?
Yeah. So first of all, you guys want to run with this idea. I got no problem with it. I don't have time for it, but I just noticed at my old business at iChess how we were doing deals with a lot of different companies that they're still producing chess courses, but they had old footage from the 90s and in some cases even the late 80s on VHS tapes. And I noticed on YouTube, the nostalgia factor for anything that's old is through the roof. And I was just thinking that there's so many private studios, TV studios, movie studios, or even just a private collection of different people that were at famous events, like, I don't know, the Olympics, let's say back in the 80s or 90s or something, just footage just sitting around that they own the rights to that isn't being uploaded online. And with YouTube, it's very easy to monetize the footage, right? All you got to do if you own the rights to it, and all you need to do to own the rights to it is, be the person that originally shot the footage, or in the case of a studio, they would have the rights to it. Flip the ads on and boom, you have a business. So I was thinking, why aren't there more YouTube channels that aren't reaching out to these people that have maybe some old private collections of being in famous events or just anything? Could be an old newsreel or anything, and put some ads on it. And these videos, a lot of them have a tendency to go very viral because people just love that old footage and love that old stuff. And I just noticed nobody's doing it. And in addition to the YouTube advertising, even though the traffic wouldn't be super high quality because it's just kind of people surfing around, they're not really looking for anything. It's still traffic. You could use that to send people to a website or advertise that way as well. So you have two monetization strategies, one with advertising, the other one just, maybe doing affiliate offers or sending that traffic to another website as well from YouTube. And I was thinking the overhead on this, once you upload the videos, it would just be so easy. There's really not a whole lot else to do. And I thought that'd be just such a cool business model. And I'm surprised nobody's done it before, at least on a large scale.
They say the riches are in the niches, right? And I have to admit, I was just participating in this kind of niche thing the other day, like cat videos, right? You can tell there's now become a niche business where you could just make cat videos or funny animal videos or whatever. They've figured out how to get a lot of views and monetize it or whatever, and they just keep pushing it through the system, and it works, and people find it amusing and everybody wins. So yeah, I think it's interesting. You could do various things with it. You could find the niches within which to do it, like you were talking about chess or instructional things, or maybe a nostalgia around a specific thing like music, concerts, or it could just be a general service or kind of unearthing history and bringing it back to you. So I think it's really ripe for a system, this type of business. If you create a system that works and then just double down on it, you could just automate it.
Yeah. I think you bring up a great point there, that you could run with this two different ways. It could just be a general list, like any footage you want. Reach out to old TV studios if they have famous, newscasts of a special event. Put out Facebook ads. Hey, we're looking for old footage of, famous things taking place. Or it could be more general. If I had a shop or either like an off Amazon, e-commerce business where I'm selling cat products and cat food and things like that, why wouldn't you be trying to get the rights on funny cat videos and be uploading that stuff? I mean, if you have a shop, selling everything related to cats, you can't just have your Instagram and YouTube only be, talking about sales on, cat treats. It's not really gonna work. You have to figure out what people in your niche enjoy. Right. So, I guess this is kind of splintering things in two ways, right? You could use this strategy just standalone, or you could try to use it, kind of build it on as a marketing strategy for your own business. And then the extra advertising revenue that you would get is just kind of cherry on the cake, right?
A lot of companies are doing that, not necessarily uploading the content themselves, but asking users to use a hashtag, for example. But same idea, post your video of your cat wearing this sweater and playing with our toy, and use this hashtag, and everyone can see all those videos all together. So yeah, that's definitely a viable route. I guess I'm curious about the business model itself. If you're thinking about old TV studios or movie studios, it seems like to me, I would have a hard time picturing them being willing to give a significant portion of the monetization of those old materials in any way. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I realize that's probably the biggest problem. It's the classic chicken and the egg, right? If you had a YouTube that had millions of subscribers and you're saying, look, we upload this thing and it goes viral, you'll be constantly generating, hundreds of dollars a month doing nothing, and we'll just split the money. But when you're just starting off and you don't have an audience, that makes it a much tougher sale, because you still don't have that audience to properly monetize. And I guess there's two ways around it. I think the first way would be to maybe do Facebook and AdWords ads going directly to consumers that just have to say, oh yeah, I do have these old, VHS tapes of all these, all the different, I don't know, track and field competitors at the 1992 Olympics or whatever it is. Can I send that to you and you can upload that on YouTube? I guarantee you something like that, even if you had 0 subscribers, if you just had the right keywords and kind of a viral title, a viral description, etc. You could start that way before trying to contact studios and things like that.
That reminds me, I was browsing the Tesla subreddit, being the Tesla nerd that I am, and one of the top posts on there was this guy's potato phone, as they say, potato camera images of the Tesla Roadster unveiling, and the original like meet and greet. Everyone can come get their Roadsters. They had 8 different Roadsters. It looked like, you know, this really shoddy warehouse, but people loved it. They loved seeing this nostalgic factor of, hey, this is how the company started. This is the vehicle that built the company. I want one of these vehicles. And just built all that up into just from that simple post.
Yeah, I agree. And I think the second way around it is just straight up, this is a lot riskier, but say, hey, we'll pay for your footage. We'll pay for your footage. Just same strategy. Put, you know, Facebook ads, AdWords ads. We're looking for footage. Send your old tapes, etc. See what you can find from, you know, old footage from the 80s and 90s. I mean, some of it might be kind of worthless, but some of it might. I mean, even something really random like, you know, someone's birthday, a kid's birthday party in 1988 or something like that. Like even that might be worth something to somebody. And just straight up offer them money, you know, one-time fee. But, you know, I think you'd have to have pretty deep pockets for that. And if you were reaching out to the, you know, I think reaching out to studios, that would probably be down the line. You'd have to really develop your relationship first. You know, this is actually the exact problem we had at iChess when we started. We worked with, I want to say maybe 20 different companies. Some of them were new, but a lot of them were old, and they had a lot of old footage that we could put on YouTube. You know, basically our model was we would put maybe 10-15% of the running time on YouTube of these old videos. And if they liked it, they can buy the full thing. But that's not what I'm suggesting for this, you know, business model, right? Nobody's going to pay for, you know, footage of some old sports event or something like that. And yeah, sorry, just had
a little bit of a tangent. I'm going to take this opportunity to bring up Charlie Bit My Finger. You guys hear about the NFT news as relates to this?
I don't understand anything related to it. To be honest,
I don't want to go too deep into the NFT aspect of it itself, but that video is being pulled from YouTube after being sold as an NFT for $760,999. So you will no longer be able to watch Charlie Bit My Finger on YouTube.
Can only one person own
I can't believe
NFT?
I bid that $98 instead of $99 at the end there, man. I lost out.
But it's only one person that can own an NFT, right? You can't own shares in it. And apologies in advance for
it depends on the particular it depends on the particular NFT.
So the person who owns that, so the person who owns that NFT can now upload it anywhere, do anything they want with it, right? It's almost like owning the copyright, right?
It sounds like with that particular arrangement, yes, but not every arrangement is like that.
Maybe that's where the real's money at. Let us help you NFT all your old, you know, 90s videos.
I mean, it's topical, at least for the next, you know, for the foreseeable several months. That there could be a business model around people doing that with different content that they have. You don't know long term whether that's going to work, but it's interesting.
Yeah, people are certainly on this this train of NFTs.
So what is this whole Charlie Bit My Finger? Tell me about what it is. What happens? I'm assuming it's like a couple kids and one of them bites the other's finger and it's just
Dude,
funny.
How did you use it? Do you use the internet?
Yeah, I think it's like
Mr. Focus. Come on, I was doing important things.
Yeah, sure. It's one of the first viral videos. Came out in 2007, I believe. It's a 3-year-old and his 1-year-old brother sitting on his lap, and he sticks his finger in his mouth and says, "Charlie bit me," and he's got this cute English accent, and he just keeps doing it. "Charlie bit my finger." That's a terrible impression of it, but that's basically it for a minute. And now they're 17 and 15 years old, and they sold the meme for $760,000.
I know that we're here to talk about business, and I know that this conversation has been had by all kinds of people all over the place, but why is the world so weird, especially since the internet? Like, how does it happen that these things have become so integral into our culture. Like cat videos. Cat videos, you didn't like sit down at home and like get a Blockbuster, cat video compound.
Well, they had what was it, America's Funniest Home Videos,
but that wasn't just
likes.
cats. That was like cats and dogs and people getting hit in the nuts with a baseball. Like it was all kinds of things.
But they were cat. They were the original.
This is the time. Videos. This is the time where I say my pet conspiracy theory is that, what is it? Cats in the future found a way to build a time machine or access a time machine. Then they came back and orchestrated the world of the early internet so that we could become obsessed with them. Okay.
That theory just stands alone. It's unimpeachable. So, we'll just move on from that.
It's like, well, can you disprove it?
Yeah, exactly.
It happened, and it happens. And
I think that there is a lesson to be pulled here from the turning into an NFT of these old memes. This one is a video. There's also the famous one of the girl standing in front of the burning house. That was turned into an NFT. I don't remember how much that was sold for, but thousands of dollars as well.
500,000.
500,000. There you go. So people are spending a lot of money on old content. The difference here is that this content is already well known. And Freddy, we're talking about an idea here where maybe it could be on subjects that are well known. Maybe it's a different perspective of it, unseen footage. It seems like there would be some way of capitalizing on this trend using that. Like if you had a different angle of, I'm going to throw out a crazy one, right? Like the lunar landing, that would be worth millions if someone had this, unseen angle of that. Probably doesn't exist because that's not real, but
but you do. I mean, just as something that's similar. I know I checked it out recently when I was wasting time on the internet. I did not come across Charlie Bit My Finger, but I did come across astronauts that are going up now into space, and they get to take cool pictures and videos from space, right? So they get these cool time-lapse images of the Earth, rotating. So all of the lights of the different cities turn into like streaks that are surrounding the planet, and there's just all sorts of cool images that are coming out of that stuff. So they're probably selling them individually for whatever price that they can get, but it is a whole other thing to turn it into an NFT or hand it over to a company that's gonna have a specialized way of monetizing it, like the one we're talking about.
Yeah, there's so many ways you could go with it. You could also do a just put it out on YouTube to see how it goes. And if it's something that's really getting momentum, then reach out to the same client, like, yo, let's NFT this and kind of be the like a NFT broker, maybe.
I can't wait till Points Panda turns into an NFT focused business, right?
No, I don't think Points Panda have much money as an NFT. It's really not making much. Can you sell a business as an NFT?
Probably.
Yeah, you can sell anything as an NFT. Haven't you already learned that?
All right. Well, if you guys are interested, there's a non-profitable, post-COVID travel business, which is kind of an oxymoron, but yes, let's NFT it.
Let's take this moment to talk a little bit about Points Panda, what you're up to there, and maybe we can come back to this idea at hand. Tell us the story of Points Panda. Maybe even you can tell us how you got into it after leaving iChess.
Yeah, so I left iChess in early 2019, took a few months off, kind of trying to figure out what I want to do next. I realized maybe I wasn't really ready to buy an online business yet. And so I decided to start Points Panda, which started as basically a productized service, which all that means is you pay one yearly fee rather than per booking or per consultation. And for that yearly fee, you can bother me as much as you want on WhatsApp, Facebook, Slack, wherever it is, about which credit cards to open, which to close. And generally, most of my clients had a specific goal in mind. Like, I want to fly Emirates first class, with my husband a year from now. I'm like, okay, well, that's going to be a lot of points. You need to open this card, you need to open that card. Okay, I noticed in your business, you have a lot of pay-per-click advertising. You should be moving it onto, this Amex Gold card and so on and so forth to maximize the amount of points. And the main value of the service was when people were ready to book the reward flights with points, I would go in there and figure out where the best deals are. And for anyone who hasn't booked a business class ticket or really any ticket with points, it's not as simple as booking a cash ticket where you go on Expedia, right? The best deal, especially if it's an economy ticket, might be in the portal. But if it's a business class ticket, long distance business like lay flat or first class, almost definitely the best deal for your Chase, Amex, Capital One points, whatever it is going to be transferring to one of the airline partners. And that's where things get very, very complicated and very, very messy, because the best deals on a specific airline is usually with another airline in the same alliance. And there's no way to know how it is. You just kind of have to have a mental map of where things are. And people have tried to replicate this mental map kind of with algorithms. Like there's a site called awardhacker.com, and they do kind of a pretty good job of seeing what your options are. But no one does as good of a job as a person, a human being that knows all their stuff. And we're talking about huge savings, like a round trip business class flight to Europe. If you just booked it through the Amex or Chase portal, could be 400,000 points for this, $3,000 flight. But if you contact someone like me, I say, oh, well, you can, transfer to British Airways to book this American airline flight and save you thousands and thousands of dollars worth of points, right? And so I had some clients that just wanted to get in the game, and I had other ones that they knew all this stuff, but it's just so time consuming that they said, okay, you're going to book unlimited award flights for me. Great. And some of those clients actually lost a lot of money because they had millions and millions of points, and they were constantly hitting me up. And so that's how it started, because I was already doing it for friends and family, basically for free, right? I already had 10 clients, only they weren't paying me any money. And then, after that, I started using the profits from that business just through word of mouth to start a content affiliate blog, selling these same credit cards as a credit card affiliate. It's similar to, thepointsguide.com or 1mileatatime.com, like any of those websites, just much starting from zero. And it was all going well until COVID hit. And then the business dried up, and the traffic is still growing. I'm still working on it a little bit, but it's not my main bread and butter. And yeah, I do hope it comes back. I really miss booking these tickets for myself. And also I think there's like a gambling kind of aspect to it, because you're looking. Sky Miles is trying to charge you 400,000 points. Oh, that's outrageous. And they keep looking. Air France is 200,000 points, and you're changing the dates. And then you finally find this on Virgin Atlantic is doing 80,000 points. And it's so exciting to get back to a client like, yo, I found this amazing deal. It's like 80% cheaper than what Delta's charging for the same flight. Like Delta's a Virgin partner, right? And so I don't know, it got so addicting. Sometimes I've been looking at flight combinations for award flights I'm not even planning on taking.
It's striking to me, because that is the part that a lot of people absolutely hate. Like, yeah, I can picture Ethan just drilling his eyes out as you're talking. He's like, I don't like it either. Anyway, I used to, but yeah, I'm
thinking about traveling. Yeah, that's it.
But that's another person's displeasure is your opportunity. That's awesome.
I have to say though, I think for some reason I used to enjoy things like that, and then at a certain point I was just like, I don't have the time for this. I feel like I'm getting sucked into a world, somebody else's world, the airlines world, and then they've got all these points. But I see, some of my smartest friends are doing that stuff,
I'm surprised that it hasn't bounced back already, given that how many people are traveling now.
I'll tell you why it hasn't bounced back a lot. The biggest value of these Amex and Chase points is long distance business class flights that cost thousands and thousands of dollars. And in some cases with Emirates and Cathay Pacific, some of these flights I've taken in cash were over $10,000 in cash. And surprisingly, some businesses, for their VIP clients or CEOs, they pay it, whatever. Not everyone flies with, some people actually do pay cash for it.
So you're telling me you guys are able to get just flights for less than $10,000? I mean, I just go to the site and it's 10,000.
That's what I was getting at. People are traveling again, but like here in Mexico, domestic travels were basically at the same baseline it was before. Same in the U.S., domestic flights, the traffic is almost where it was before. Same thing in Brazil and all these large countries. But international travel, especially long distance international travel, like U.S. to Europe, Europe to Asia, U.S. to Asia, North America to South America, is still down about 90%. It honestly hasn't really recovered at all. And the biggest value of these points are those long distance. Like if you're flying from, Chicago to New York, you don't need a book with points. It's a $200 flight. You just go and book it, right? But if you're flying Chicago to Bangkok, you really don't want to be spending 34 hours in economy. It's awful, right? You just don't want to, right? But the problem is those tickets are crazy expensive, right? 4 or 5, even a millionaire, it's kind of hit to their pocketbook spending thousands of dollars just on one flight. So that was the biggest value I could provide. And because that market hasn't recovered just quite yet, and I think it's still going to be another year until, the borders of all these countries really start opening en masse without all these complicated vaccine passes and COVID tests and quarantine and so on and so forth. That's what makes it a little bit of a tougher sell. Like, okay, you're gonna help me book this $200 economy ticket to Miami. Like, I don't really need you for that, buddy. Like, I need you to help me with these expensive tickets. But since nobody's flying these long flights right now, it might be a little bit longer. But the credit card market is definitely recovering. More people are signing up for cards, and I think the recovery is really going to start to accelerate this summer and especially next year. So we'll see what happens with Points Panda, but ultimately I think it's always going to be a side business for me.
So tell us, we talked about this kind of movie or home movie or whatever it is, found footage project a bit, and hopefully we'll talk about that a little bit more. I kind of feel it's because Chris is like a points nerd that we've gotten really deep into points.
Maybe.
Yeah.
We just went for it.
It's my fault.
I'm also interested. I'm also interested in something else tangential, and if you're willing to share, we were talking about how you had iChess, you're working with Points Panda, and now you're exploring other options for starting another business. Can you share a little bit about what you're thinking of, what kind of options you're exploring?
Yeah, I'm totally an open book on that. Not trying to hide anything at all, especially since I'm not even starting another business. So I'm going to be buying one. So there's nothing I need to really hide at this point. That could take up a 2-hour podcast just on its own. But let's just say the market for buying businesses right now, online businesses, is the hottest it's ever been, which is basically the same as every asset class for a variety of reasons. I think part of it is due through the money printing and inflation, and a lot of it's just due to people having more interest in seeing businesses not just as these assets that you have that aren't really sellable and it's just part of your identity. I think there's a shift going on right now with entrepreneurs like you and me that work online and have online businesses, and seeing it less as tied to our identity and more as digital real estate, in the sense that you have the business, you might buy one, you might sell one, you might have a variety of businesses in your portfolio. And online businesses are becoming, it's crazy how much more liquid they've become just in the last 6 months, right? The market went from the worst and the lowest it's ever been, probably in July, August 2020, to the highest, hottest it's ever been right now in a 9-month period. It's absolutely crazy. But, you have these sites like Empire Flippers, Quiet Light, websiteclosers.com, so on and so forth. And it used to be where if you list an online business, it might take a month or two till the first person might make you an offer. It wasn't really that liquid, right? You might have to negotiate. It was definitely more of a buyer's market. Now what's happening, it's the same as real estate, right? I don't know if you guys saw this article. I think maybe it was in Business Insider, Washington Post, like this old rundown house that was boarded up just outside of Washington, D.C. And they bought it for like $100,000 a few years ago. And the minute that they listed it, they had like 50 offers, so 50 LOIs sent their way, and half of those people didn't even check. I guess they call it like a blind offer, right? Didn't even check out the property, right? And that's what's going on in the real estate world. The online real estate world, online businesses, it's the same thing happening right now. It's a very hot market. So I was originally looking at getting what's called an SBA loan for people outside of the US. Essentially means banks in the US will loan you money at a very low interest rate to buy a business, either brick and mortar or online business, between $300,000 and $5 million. And if you fail or if you default on the loan, I should say, the U.S. government will cover it to the bank, will be a lender of last resort. So because of that, the banks will lend you at a very low interest rate. And so I was looking at that path until I realized the market is so hot that the sellers just don't want to put up with it, because it's months and months of paperwork, and the government and the SBA and the banks and everybody's taking a look and doing the due diligence. At the same time, you have all these cash buyers coming in, and they're doing it's the same thing as real estate. They're not only are they bidding cash for the listing price, in some cases above the listing price. And so that's when I started just looking more into going the investor route, and that's where I'm at right now. And yeah, just trying to set up the legal structure for that right now. It's going to be a simple equity split where I get more equity as the operator and the investors get less equity, or less profit share, I should say, as the passive investors. And the way I'm doing it's very unusual. Usually before the super hot everything market, everything from used boats to real estate to online businesses is going up. You would be able to go to the business first, tell them I don't have the cash, but I'm going to get this loan, or I'm going to get the investors, and then come back. Now the market is too hot because there's just everybody's coming in with cash offers. So I'm raising the money first, and then I'm going to find the business within a very specific criteria, right? I'm looking for off Amazon e-commerce between $1 and $1.5 million with this specific equity split, where I'm getting half of the business for 25% down as the operator and CEO, and then the investors are getting the other half of the profits for 75% down. And there's other details as well about the profit split at the point of sale. And yeah, it's a little bit unusual. It's been done before, and that's what I'm working on right now, because if you're trying to buy an online business right now, you got to have the cash. You can't do loans. You can't have soft commits from investors and come back later. You need to get the money together first. So
I want to ask about why you're going the buy route. But before rather than build something on your own, given that the market is so heated up, but I wanted to share a resource that you're probably familiar with, but maybe the listener is not. exchangemarketplace.com. It's run by Shopify. It's all e-commerce, all off Amazon, given that it is Shopify. You can see the average revenue per month. I'm looking at one right now.
That's interesting. I never heard of that one.
Coffee Time, their average revenue is $30,500 per month. Average profit, $9,500 per month. Inventory value right now is $1,000 worth. Their asking price is $300K. You can, open this up and see why the business was started, the reason for selling it, what's involved in running it. There's some handover that they talk about that they're willing to help with. So both for you, Freddie, and for
I thought I had another tip. I had another tip for you. If you could just go back a little bit, invest that money that you were going to put into the business in Dogecoin,
then, of course,
and then you could sell it.
No, Dogecoin to the moon. Yeah.
If you talk to the cats, they might find a time machine for you.
Yeah.
To pull this off.
But yeah, I think this is a good option for finding business ideas. I'm sure that you have a number of other ones, not business ideas, but businesses looking to sell that out there. I'm very pro Shopify.
I think it's great to start a business, and I'm happy that I started Points Panda, and I do think it's going to take off. But the reality is, once you've started a business and sold it, there's no guarantee after you spend 2, 3, 6 months, even a year working to start a business, whether it's really going to take off or not. And it can take a lot of time. It's just like the old saying goes with that book, 0 to 1, right? It's a lot easier, in my opinion, to go from 1 to 100 than it is to go from 0 to 1. You know, when you have a business that's already generating revenue and generating profit and has an email list and customers and everything set up, and it's doing, you know, XYZ amount of profit, for someone like me or someone like any of you guys that have been running online businesses, it shouldn't really be that hard to expand the business. Like, okay, you know, they're messing up their content strategy this way, they're not doing paid ads. In a lot of cases, these businesses don't they have an email list, but they don't even email their customers, right? So like, you could buy the business and instantly bring up the profits and revenue 20, 30% just by emailing their list. And, you know, I've seen it with other people that the owners will say, oh, I don't have an email list. It's like, well, you have your customers, right? It's like, yes. It's like, do you collect your customers' email? Like, yes. Well, you needed to check out. It's like, well, then you have an email list. Like 90% of your sales from an email list would be coming from your customer list anyways, right? So I've seen a lot of that stuff. And
Freddie, I've got the perfect business for you here to buy. It's listed on Exchange Marketplace, called Freddy's Box at freddysbox.com, listed for $20,000. Average sessions per month, 47.69. Average revenue, $8,500. They're making $2,500 per month. It's a lot smaller than you're talking about, but yeah, I think that you could probably take something. You don't need to get the investors. Just take this.
What do they sell?
So is it like boxes, like a monthly subscription box or something?
Focus on the selling of Funko Pop collectibles and fulfilling these orders.
Funko or Funko?
Funko.
Mushrooms? Funko?
Funko. I don't know what that means, but it's little figurines if you go to their website.
Let's sell Freddy something we don't know what it means.
Yeah, exactly. it's your domain, man.
Yeah.
Well, cool. Hopefully that was enlightening both for you and for the listener for some of these opportunities out there. We did get way off track. I don't know how much more we want to flesh out for the.
Let's see how much farther we can get off track. Maybe we talked about cat alien. No, they weren't aliens, but they could be. Yeah, let's make them alien. We talked about points. We talked about our video archive business. Yeah, we talked about investing in Dogecoin and NFTs. I think we've reached.
I think so too. I think this is the time to wrap up here, Freddie. You've been very generous with your time, your ideas, your openness when it comes to your past and what you've got going on with Points Panda. Really appreciate it. Where can people go to learn more about you, what you're up to, and what you're all about?
Yeah, just pointspanda.com. If you guys want to reach out to me, my email is freddy@pointspanda.com. And that's about it. I guess I really should get one of those, we call like resume websites, like Freddy Lansky, and it's got me in a suit or something like that. But I don't know. Don't have that yet.
It's a dual purpose for freddysbox.com.
Oh, there you go. I might have a bit of a dirty mind, but
I know. I have to say, I was thinking this too.
I will cut that one from the main podcast.
I was not go there at all. All right. Well, Freddie, thank you very much. It's been a pleasure speaking with you. Have a great rest of your day.
Yeah, it's been fun. Thanks for having me on.
All right. Hang on just a second here. Well, I'm going to say bye to the...
Did you do that part for the listener out there thing that you say, Chris? You put that in there, right?
The call to action?
Yeah. I forget whether you said it.
No, I didn't say it.
We just say it right now, so Ari has it.
To the listener... We haven't been doing it.
Oh, we haven't even been doing it?
No, we haven't been. We've been...
Oh, okay. Well, I will say to the listener out there...
You said out there. What's going on?
I said it's because it's what you said, because it's what you say. I would never say out there. To the listener, it's nice. It's been nice being in your head for this half hour, however much time you spent with us. We appreciate your time. If you want to reach out to us, you can contact us at update@runwithit.fm. But of course, the most important thing is that you go to iTunes and you rate us so that other people can find out about the show, and we can grow this and make it bigger and better. And rating and subscribing. Yeah, go for it.
Perfect. All right, I'm going to hit stop recording here and stop on Zencaster and this live stream. Also, say bye to the folks